Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video we're going to take another look at the event dungeon, and specifically the higher actually we're going to be looking at all of your teams. We're going to definitely focus on the higher stages, but I asked you guys on my Discord to submit all the different teams that you're using now after the nerf to the event dungeon. And yeah, we're going to be checking those out and seeing what you guys did. I'll show you the team I'm currently using as well, which was basically inspired by... I don't think I've copied the builds or anything, but I basically took some of the champions that a couple of the commenters suggested in my Discord. And I was like, yeah, this works pretty well. But the idea of this team is that now after the nerf, particularly on stage 30, the boss does way less damage. And I actually had to rebuild Lammasu a bit for this because I was using Uko and I said, nah, it doesn't quite work. But here we can see the idea of the team. We debuff with Lammasu. This is going to be a bit of a sketchy run because we got the 3% and missed block buffs here. So the boss is going to hit a lot harder than she usually would. So this could be potentially a fail. And because we don't have the block buff, she's also stolen all of our buffs, which, well, not all of them, but she's stolen a good few, which is potentially bad. But yeah, you can see the idea of the team. We debuff at Lammasu. We actually do buff up with Sifi, who's in 9-piece protection to try keep us alive. Marius kills almost all of the enemies, except for Volcanos. And then Carnage flips forms and finishes them off. And then the idea is we get into this second form, and in the alternate form, hopefully we should still have block buffs from Lammasu to stop the boss taking our buffs, which didn't happen this time. We'll go again just so you can see. But Carnage in his second form heals off of his A1, and he should be firing that A1 off all the time. A bit of randomness here. We can see, because we're putting out so many buffs, you know, how many times will we trigger the Volcanos stuff is a little bit random. Another big one is we can have that 3% fail of block buffs on the boss from Lammasu, and the boss will hit us much harder. I actually feel like she hit us harder this time, even without her buffs. The boss doesn't have 100% crit rate, so it really depends. But yeah, you can see Carnage, he's going to keep counterattacking. He does huge damage, and Sifi passive can, and that's a very fast run this time, Sifi passive can remove the true fear for him. So that's the idea of the team. I was using Uko. The problem I ran into with Uko was that we could trigger Mortu Macab, his passive, and he could then one-shot Marius, because I don't have Stone Skin on Marius. You could replace Lydia very easily, might even be better, but she has 6-star Brimstone, so for me it makes the run faster, and she's geared, so it makes it faster. Like I said, the only thing I changed in terms of gear to make this team work was I've made Lammasu have higher accuracy. I rebuilt her with higher accuracy. Which I was able to do because I actually have moved Sifi into 9 pieces of protection now. But yeah, so this is my team. I've got Crown of Corruption on Lammasu. That's certainly not essential, but it is making her the fastest. So those are her stats. Then we Sifi's the next fastest. She's now in 9-piece protection, which is, again, if you protect the block debuffs, you're good. The boss can't fear you. It makes life a lot easier. If you protect the increased defense, the boss doesn't hit you quite as hard. It's much easier to survive. The increased speed, all that stuff. The buffs being protected makes life easier. And it's also, of course, giving our team a bit of a damage boost. Makes it a little bit faster. She's got Wand of Submission, which I don't think really matters. And that's her. And that's her there. Lydia is up next. She's in 9 pieces of Feral. She's like this. And yeah, she's basically built for the top level of Chimera. So it just carries over. Marius, I'm thinking about rebuilding my Marius for Arena into Stone Skin Lethal. We'll see, but he's right now in 9 pieces of Slayer, which is certainly not essential. You just want him to hit as hard as possible. I have him with Cat's Gaze. A lot of you will have a 6-star Marius. At least it feels like everyone I fight in live arena has a 6-star Marius, and if you give him Crushing Rend, it's much easier. Now, one thing with him, I found that it's quite nice if he doesn't kill Volcanos, because then it lets Carnage transform. It's fine if it doesn't. If he just kills all the enemies, it's fine. Carnage can stay in Form 1, or he can transform after, especially if you've Lightning Cage on Carnage, if you've got Protection set on Sifi, so that Carnage isn't going to get feared. One thing I found from a couple of runs was that when Marius killed the enemies, or I use Seer instead. You could use Seer instead of Marius. That the boss could sometimes steal the buffs from Carnage and he'd get feared. And then if he misses his metamorph because of the true fear, then he doesn't heal in his base form. He only heals in his alternate form. So that was one slight problem. But yeah, I mean, it's a small chance for failure, but with 9-piece protection, Sifi, or potentially you could use Ancora with Lightning Cage, you should be okay, I think. And then we've got Carnage, and these are the Carnage stats. I am considering rebuilding Carnage faster. Probably same with Marius, but we'll see. But there you go. That's my team. Like I said, it's not quite 100%, I don't think. We not do a super raid because I have enough energy. I think it's not quite 100%. We'll look at your teams now in a second. But it's pretty close. I think you could get some bad luck and have stuff go wrong. But yeah, we decrease defense and weaken. Potentially, if you had Crushing Rend on Marius, you could even ditch the decreased defense. I don't know. Do like a Mad Hatter instead or something. Yeah, depending, you could use a Seer instead, as I mentioned. If your Carnage is really crazy, maybe you could use Carnage instead. There's probably a good bit of stuff that you could do. So let's see here. Might get a little close. Yeah, so you're a little bit dependent there as well. I see that's where I think luck can affect it. Or again, if you've got worse gear, you could be in trouble there. Because she almost killed Carnage. So it's going to depend on the boss rolling some weak hits and not critting. It's going to depend on, does Carnage do a counterattack? Because if he counterattacks, he basically heals to full. Or does he miss his counterattacks of True Fear? Yeah, there's definitely some randomness to it. Let's see if you guys have some better solutions. So here we go. Let's look at all the teams you guys are using. And I will pick some winners after this for this thing as well. So we have first up, Haha Lol. Great name. Coming in with the 2-minute team. This is definitely a more accessible team than mine. We can see far less souls being needed. It's a 2-star Lydia, for example. Only a 3-star on the Seer. Arbiter and Eurost. For this team to work, in the past, you definitely needed Brimstone on Eurost. And you needed him to be like 5 or 6-star. Seems like it's fine now. So I do think after the nerf, I wonder if you could probably use Eurost without needing it. So that's a much more accessible team for stage 30. We have Staircore. Full disclosure, my team is not really accessible. The concept works the same regardless. In fact, it works better replacing Faction Unity with Geomancer. Okay, let's take a look at his team quickly. Oh, so we've got Kaldor. So it's 3 minutes, stage 25 here. But we've got Neve, we've got Freya, Kaldor, Thor, and Fabian. Interesting team. Thor clears the ads and does some damage to the boss. Fabian and Kaldor strip the buffs of the boss. Neve does decrease crit rate, stop the boss from gaining Terminator. That's a cool little strategy, using decreased crit rate, because Karosa, in case you guys don't know, and we should probably go back, get the the proper size screen mode. There we go. Karosa, in her alternate form, each critical hit boosts her turn meter by 10% for each dead ally. And she obviously has a triple hit A1, and she's got a AoE A2, so she can potentially very randomly get some crits and get lots of turn meter, and it's kind of bad. That's actually a clever idea there from Staircourse to use decreased crit rate to try to mitigate it. Freya for the massive shield block debuffs. I could not clear 21 or higher before because of the massive damage the boss dealt, but now I can clear it on auto. That's cool. We've got someone T something. Here's my my stage 20 team. Got to stage 23 with it. With a nerf, I'll try put together a Seer team. So here we go. Stage 20 in 30 seconds. Again, a much more accessible team. We've got 2 fusions from this year. Permanent fusion. Cardial will be the most inaccessible part of it, but it's not a huge deal. I don't think the healing or revive on death is really needed much. It looks like they're killing everything. And Rathalos Blademaster for damage. So interesting. Rathalos Blademaster without burns, and he's still ripping through stage 20. We have someone here. Do I have streamer mode on or something? How do I turn it off? There we go. Okay, sorry. That was Toilet Chowder. Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad we disabled streamer mode to see that name. Toilet Chowder, stage 20 team. We have Mr. Old Fish coming in, stage 30, 54 seconds. Very similar to mine, but instead of Marius, we've got a Jing Wan. Oh, so like a non-Jingwan. Instead of Sifi, we've got a 0-star Duchess Lilitu. That's obviously much more accessible than a 6-star Sifi. And we do have the 6-star Carnage. But it looks like we just place even, instead of using Marius, we place even more debuffs with Jingwan, and then Carnage kills everything. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, I dig that. I dig it. That's interesting, yeah. And it's a little bit slower. I wonder if it's more consistent. But yeah, Carnage just ripping through. That's fun. And the Jingwan, I love it. Jingwan with his passive, he removes the True Fear from you, so it stops that from being an issue. That's very cool. I love that team. Similar to the one I was using. Here we go, stage 25. We've got a similar team here with Thor and Marius and a Newt. Cool. Lamassu coming in as well, and the Sifi. Very nice. We have, that was from H Superman 18. We have Lights Off coming in with a stage 25 team, just 1 minute 40. We've got Lydia, Double Newt, Acrisia, and Sifi. So yeah, Acrisia seemed pretty good for this dungeon as well. We have Tygo. Not really a fast run, but it works. That's fair enough. Yeah, 3 minutes, stage 25. We've got Thor. We've got Duchess and Galathir. Duchess and Duchess 2.0. And we've got Lydia and Esme coming in. Nice. Very cool. Zold says this is the same team I was running prior to the nerf. Something I threw together. Just stage 25 about 45 seconds faster. Good enough for me. Here we go. The idea of this video is that hopefully you guys will get... Oh, Toilet Chowder's back! The man, the myth, the legend. Yes, he's my new... Unfortunately, he's left the Discord. I would have given him $1 million if he'd stayed, but now he'll never get it. It's sad. I wouldn't have. Don't be... But or do believe me, or don't believe... Is it worse if you believe that or don't? It's probably worse if you do believe that. That's a joke. Please don't. Please don't. I don't have $1 million. Leave me alone. Stage 25 from Toilet Chowder again. Same team, probably a little bit faster. Cool. We'll come and see if we get an answer to this question about how important Jingwan is. We've got Saris 18, full auto team, stage 20, with Tholan and Phoenix. Oh, that's sick. 11 seconds. The double ally attack with... actually, no, I am telling a lie. It's triple ally attack. 3 of them. 3 ally attacks with a Tholan and a Phoenix. Now, there is a speed farm if ever there was one. Okay, I respect that. That one's actually pretty cool. I have to pick some winners after this. I'll probably pick some of the more fun ones and creative, and we'll pick some. That one might come through. In fact, let me make a note of that because I enjoy that one. So, Saris 18. You left the Discord, but I forgive you, my friend. Oh, that was quite a fun one. We've got stage 30 here. 1 minute. Very similar to what I was doing, but Geomancer still coming in to potentially solo the boss. So he's not done too much damage, so it seems like Marius survived. We've got Emic in there as well. That's from H Superman 18. And yeah, as I said, the stuff doesn't have to be accessible. Good to see any options. We have Heimdall here on stage 32 minutes with an Ashnar. So HP burn. They made... Oh, sorry, this is slightly too... no, I've done the wrong thing. We make this a bit... Yeah. There we go. Now you guys can see a bit better. But yeah, we've got Chalco the Blind, 6-star. This is certainly not accessible, but pretty funky to see. Chalco. I love it. That's cool. That is cool. We have Bald Guy 007 for success on level 30 since the change. Still relied on Neve to get me through. I think Neve is absolutely incredible. This is a 2-minute run. But yeah, we've got Newt and Marius, but Neve to keep them alive, which is cool. So he's replaced... It's similar to my team. You know, the boss killer, Newt instead of Carnage, but similar concept. But he's got Neve instead of Sifi. Interesting. Cool. But yeah, and Mr. Ullfish, by the way, about that Jingwan. You know, I might, you know what? Let's call it Mr. Ullfish. I'm liking that as well. And I do like to, we'll try to pick some people that entered later on as well. But yeah, we'll go with those. We've got Hydra Aptem. Sorry, no, I don't know how to pronounce I don't know how to read those letters properly. Aptem is probably wrong. It's the best I can do. Team leaves the trash alive and just DPS is the boss. Long but solid on auto. Maybe some CC could be faster. Need to test. This is stage 23. I think that's what... Pibeb. But yeah, cool. So they just focus the boss. I guess he might turn off the AoE with the Crizia. Maybe he leaves it on, I'm not sure, but he just doesn't kill the enemies, but just single target focus the boss with some sustain. That's kind of cool. Yeah, that's kind of cool. And it's slow, it's 6 minutes, but that's an interesting idea there. We've got Kangs coming in here. Stage 30 in 50 seconds. We've got Hatter, we've got Teox, Crixia, Furion, and Pythion. Very cool. Heimdall back. He's upgraded his team to 143. Awesome stuff. And yep, here we go. Couldn't do stage 25 yesterday with this team. First run today with this team. There we go. So we able to clear stage 25. We've got Mikage, Uko. Uko, I think, is a really... if you've got the Uko fusion, which is a long time ago, but you haven't got Lammasu yet. And to be fair, I would think probably most people that have completed the Uko fusion, that's been so long at this point, you probably have Lammasu. Like, it's... I don't know. Let me know. Did you do the Uko fusion but not get Lammasu? Kind of curious, but we've got Tholan coming in here, stage 25, with the Freya. So ally attack, Uko with the block buffs and revive if needed, Freya to keep him alive, and Tholan does the damage. That's cool to see. It's 1 minute 42 on stage 20, which is nice. We've got a stage 30 team here, 3 minutes. We've got Taurus Marishka with the Odin and the Geomancer and the Freya. Very cool. We have Tomo. 12 seconds on stage 30. Now, this is sick because this is Wukong. Yeah. This has also become, because the minions are a lot squishier, this has become, and the boss is squishier too. This speed farm team is a lot easier to do. Basically, the way it works is kind of surplus damage, splash damage type stuff in this game. It's just fundamentally broken. Now, people won't like me saying that, because it's saying that Wukong is broken. It kind of is. Wukong's A2, Trunda's A2 is a similar move but slightly different. But Wukong's A2, Siegfried's A3, I think it is, Baron's A1. These moves that do damage based on the surplus. I mean, like, for example, you could hit an enemy with 100k HP for 200k damage, and then it will say, we'll do surplus. The surplus damage will go into the other enemies. So if they have 200k HP, 100k, and you hit them for 200k, there's 100k left over. But of course, the splash damage will probably hit them for like 300 or 400. It will hit them for way more. It's because the way it's worked, it basically multipliers double dip, that every multiplier starts applying twice. Not all of them, like sometimes the crit stuff is disabled, but it still doesn't matter. Because so many multipliers apply that the surplus damage, even though it's only supposed to be surplus, the little bit extra left over at the end actually ends up being bigger than the initial damage was in the first place. It's kind of crazy, but this basically exploits it. So you've got Ashnar and Gurptuk for a bunch of damage boosting effects. I'm guessing it's probably a 9-piece protection. Duchess Lilitu for triple buffs and even more damage boosting as well. And you do need increased attack for Wukong. Farrakhan is curious. I wonder if he softens up an enemy or if he just helps to kill the boss at the end. I'm not sure. So I see they did get hit once. So I'm not 100% sure. Or maybe that's just damage from the burns or something. But yeah, Wukong will just... It's only a 4-star Wukong, which is very accessible. And honestly, apart from Ashnar, this team is super accessible. And you could replace Ashnar with other options like a Firol or something like that. Like these are champions without much in terms of blessings. Farrakhan being +4 and 5-star doesn't matter. He's got Phantom Touch. He hasn't even done an attack, so it doesn't matter at all. Yeah, it's a really, really cool team. I dig that one. Maybe let's give Tomo. Give Tomo a thing. There we go. We have Gutler 003, stage 30 in 56 seconds. And this is, wow, easy farm. Taurus Marishka with a Lydia. Easy farm. And 2 food champs. Oh, wow, that's hilarious. Oh, wow, that's hilarious. That is hilarious. Insane. We've Little Lion, could farm stage 20 before, now can do 24 reliably. Sick. We've got Mezimo, we've got Insensa, so Furion, Wukong with Rala. Very cool. I like it. We have Nikilio 25 on stage 30. Bit of a slower team, but we've got Shamail. Oh, this is something that I definitely was wondering would people do. Inquisitor Shamail, right? He removes the true fears. He turns them into a benefit. That's kind of cool. Hilariously, the highest damage champ on this team is Blizzard with the blessing. It looks like Shamail's done no damage, so it's just a support Shamail. So it seems like, basically, one-shot the ads with Seer, you get into Form 2, and then just stay alive with Blizzard and Shamail trying to remove the fears. Pretty interesting. Senna's really not done a lot of healing. I guess, does her continuous heals not count? Or maybe she died. That's a really interesting one right there. I dig that one. Or maybe you come back. Oh, we've got another with Shamail stage 24. 40 seconds. We've got the Marius. Very cool. That is from Juan DMP. We have South slapped my Iron Twins team into stage 20 for the tournament. I love it. Taras Marishka. Hey, yo, stick Taras Marishka in on stage 30. They can they can basically triple it with a Lydia and a couple of food champs. But yeah, 12 seconds. Insane. I wonder how fast that is for Iron Twins. That's nuts. Oh yeah, Toilet Chowder as well. He's back for the third time. The man, the myth, the legend. Spotted Duck. Stage 23 at this. Stage 27 on this team now. He was in stage 23 before. And yeah, cool. Let's look for two more interesting ones that like really stand out. Got Kaja in here. That's a fun one. Very similar sort of thing from Theron Darax. We've got King Belagar Ironhammer. I love the Warhammer reference. With a Mountain King and a Phoenix. I like that. That is cool. We've Jay Fliz coming in with Alaz and Theodosia. Theodosia, by the way, for Chimera, I think is kind of crazy. Her second form. Her second form with those protected debuffs and the damage boost is kind of sick. Oh, this is a fun one. Stage 30 with... Okay, this image is cropped, so sorry, but it's got Supreme Kale, Kaldor, Lady of Aerith, Emic, and Glaikid. That's a really fun one. That's super fun. I might, yeah, that's Darky. You know what, Darky? I enjoy seeing the Supreme Kale. That's a spicy take. Oh shit, just leaked this. Legendary Cyan here has submitted. Let's just make sure we leak this fully. Legendary Cyan is leaking his real life friends, Brendan, John, and Matt. Maybe Matthew, who knows? Death turning blue, and they're laughing at it. Oh, it's exciting stuff. I can't. What do we have? He's got that's a cute picture there in the corner as well. He's leaking all sorts of things. We have Seb here. Again, we've got a Shamail team. Pretty cool. I like it. And he's actually shared all the builds as well, which is awesome. So fair play to Seb. I like that. You know what? Seb, you're the first one. You get a win. For coming in and for sharing this, you get the win. There we go. I want to see a couple more teams just for funsies. We've got stage 30. Sick. Eurost. Sir Nicholas? What? I guess he's there for the unkillable to keep him alive and stuff. 9-piece protection, Sir Nick, I suppose. That's spicy. Yeah, that's cool. And all right, yeah, there we go. I'll go pick 5 other runners up. We won't do it for the video. It's long enough already, but you get the gist. You can find, I'll leave this channel here on my Discord for a while. It's the Event Dungeon Nerf Showcase. So you can find my Discord channel link down below, and you can look through. There's loads more teams. Too many for me to go through in this video, but people have put in tons of suggestions. Like, there's so many. Thank you all for answering and submitting. I will go through and pick 5 other winners as well. But yeah, there we go. That's the Event Dungeon stuff. Hopefully this was sort of helpful and interesting to you to get some ideas for what people are using. I thought it was really interesting myself. But yeah, like I said, my team that I'm using here, I wonder if I should tweak it to be a bit more reliable, because I don't think it is fully reliable, to be honest. Let's see if we can get it to fail here at the end. But yeah, this is what I've been trying out and testing. Like, I wonder maybe putting in Ancora instead could work. Or yeah, because Carnage gets the maybe if I had the 6-star Marius, that could be interesting too, to see if like him not swapping form. I don't know. Because when he swapped forms, he outruns Sifi's buffs half the time. That being said, we just got a 30-second clear, which is pretty fast. So there we go. Anyway, whatever. I think it's fine. I think my team might fail every now and then. You get some bad luck. I think it could mess up. Will I bother changing it though? I don't know. It's pretty fast. I could take I can take a 99% success team, which I think it probably is. Like, we saw the block buffs not go through, and we still got through, so probably all right. Anyway, there we go. That's it. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.